Hello everyone and welcome to Tea Time Crochet. Today we're going to be going over the basics of crochet. So I wanted to start off with going over some yarn types and reading some labels, and then looking at some hooks and going through some basic supplies. So most yarns that you have or that you can find in major stores like Walmart or Joann's or whatnot, they'll have a label. This is Red Heart Super Saver, and Red Heart's really great because it'll tell you right here what weight of yarn it is. But most yarns will have this little section right here. So it tells you the weight of yarn, what size knitting needles you would use, and what size crochet hook you would use. And then these are washing instructions and like you can't iron it. And then it tells you exactly what type of yarn it is. So this is 100% acrylic. It is machine washable and dryable. And that's one of the reasons why I really love Red Heart. It's really easy to work with, and you can just throw it in the wash and the dryer, and the more you wash and dry it, the softer it gets. So since this is a number 4, it recommends a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. And then I have this yarn, which is Lion Brand Woolies. It's thick and quick, and it also has the little label. So this is a number 6. It's a super bulky, and it would take a 9 millimeter crochet hook. And once again, it has, the washing instructions and whatnot, and it tells you exactly what percentage of each thing the yarn is. So it's 80% acrylic and 20% wool. So those are just some types of labels that you might find. And Red Heart and Lion Brand are name brand yarns. You can find them in pretty much any store that sells store brand yarns. So Walmart and Joann's, and I'm not sure if Hobby Lobby carries either one of these or not, but I do know that the other two do. So let's take a look at some hooks. Hooks can come in any material. They can come in plastic, they can come in wood, they can come in aluminum like this one. It really doesn't matter. It's just personal preference on what type of material you use. I have a couple wood ones and I have a couple plastic ones, and a majority of my hooks are this aluminum ones, and that's mainly just because I got them cheap off of eBay. I personally don't have a difference between any of the different types of materials. I can crochet with any of them just fine, but like I said, it's just personal preference. And you can find hooks. eBay is a really good place. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them in any craft store. Walmart carries them. So they're really easy to find. So I wanted to go over also some of the basic supplies that you'll need for crocheting. You're going to need a tape measure. It doesn't matter what kind. I have this rolly one. It rolls back on itself, and it's just mainly because I got this as a gift from my husband many years ago. And you're going to need it to measure different projects and check your gauge and things like that, and it's really comes in handy. I like to have a small set of scissors. You can really use any scissors, but I find that it's best to have a specific set of scissors that you keep with the rest of your notions for your crocheting. You're also going to need a darning needle that has a large eye, and you can find these anywhere too. All the craft stores will have them. I've seen them at Walmart too. And then most of the time you're going to need some sort of stitch marker. So you can use pretty much anything. I use paper clips. I have these little stitch markers that I made, and it just has a lobster clasp on it. Or you can use safety pins. You can use pretty much anything. You can use a scrap piece of yarn. I mainly use the paper clips just because they're easy to pull in and out. And they're really cheap. You can buy a big box of them at, the Dollar Tree for $1. So those are the basic supplies you're going to need. I also think that it's wise to print off. You can just Google it and just go and print off a hook size chart. So this will give you the metric measurements, and then the UK measurements, and then the US measurements, and this one just happens to have the Japanese measurements. But you can just Google it and it'll bring up a ton of different charts. This is just the one that I found because I wanted one that had not only the numbers for the US but the letters, because sometimes it gets confusing. Some patterns will list like the number, and some US patterns will list the letter. And if you're like using a pattern that's not from the US, sometimes it can be in metric form, sometimes it can be in UK form. So it's just nice to have this, that way you can just refer back to it. I mainly just use the metric form, so it's in millimeters, because that's mainly what my hooks, I hope you can see that. That's mainly what my hooks are in. They're in millimeters. So like this one's 5.5 millimeter. So that is a very good tool to have. And then another thing that you should probably try and print off is this yarn guide. It will tell you the difference between the numbers, and these are the weights of yarn, and then it'll also give you the suggested hook size, and because some patterns will not give you the number, some will just tell you like it's sport weight or worsted weight. So you can look at this chart and look up, this is worsted weight, so it's a number 4. I can look in the store for a yarn that says it's a number 4. It's just a nice tool to have. And once again, I just Googled this and copied and pasted it into Word and printed it off. Another good thing to have is just a little box to put all your stuff in. That way you have all of your crochet things in one place, and all you gotta do is just go to this box when you need something. And this is just a little tin that I had got from the Dollar Tree. It's a little out of date because it's about snow, but it's always nice to have just some sort of something to be able to collect all your things in. Okay, the first thing that I want to start off with is your slip knot. I normally hold the yarn like this. So I have the end here, and then this is the string that is attached to the ball. So what I do is I just hold it like this, and I cross it to where the end is crossing over the string that is attached to the ball, and I'll put my fingers through this little loop right here, and I will grab the yarn that is attached to the ball and pull it through the loop like that. I'm sorry if that's difficult. It's hard for me to explain how to do that. So this is our slip knot. So the first thing that I want to show you is the chain stitch. And the chain stitch is going to be pretty much the basis of every pattern you're going to use. So I think for this little swatch I'm going to chain 10. So to chain, you're going to yarn over, and yarn over just means to wrap the yarn around the hook, and you're going to pull it through this loop, just like that. So I'll show you again. So the loop is on the hook like this. We're going to wrap the yarn around the hook, and we're going to pull it through the loop. And you're going to just keep doing that until you get the number that you are supposed to have for your pattern. Alright, so I have 10 chains here, and the first stitch that we're going to do is the single crochet. So for the single crochet, you're going to have to chain 1 extra stitch. And with each stitch that you do, you're going to have to chain a certain number for turning. So the single crochet is a chain 1, the half double crochet is a chain 2, the double crochet is a chain 3, and so on. So for the single crochet, we're going to go into this next stitch and pull up a loop. So that is 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through both of those loops. So once again, you're going to go through this stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over again, pull through both loops. And we're just going to keep doing that until we get to the end. Okay, here's the last stitch. Okay. Now we're going to chain 1 because we're doing a single crochet, so we're going to chain 1, and that chain 1 will count as our first single crochet. So you kind of want to chain a little bit loosely because you're going to have to come back into that later. So we're going to skip this one right here, and we're going to go into the next one and bring up a loop. Oops. So 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. Do the same thing in the next one. And you're going to keep doing that until the end. Okay, now when you get to the end, you want to make sure that you go into this chain 1 that you have right here, because that will be your last stitch. Okay, so you've done your chain row and then your first row of single crochet, and you would just repeat these 2 rows, or you would repeat this until the end of your project. So on the next row you would chain 1, loosely chain 1, turn, and then chain, then you would single crochet into this next stitch, and in every stitch until the end of the row. And then don't forget to chain, or to single crochet in this chain 1 space. Okay. And if you just kind of tug on it a little bit, it'll straighten out. It's always going to look a little wonky in the beginning, but there is your single crochet. And I want to show you how to fasten off. So to fasten off, if this was the end of your project, you would yarn over, pull through the yarn through the loop, and it's on your hook now, and then you would cut it, and then you would pull it all the way through and pull that tight, and that will secure it. So that is the single crochet from beginning to end. I think it's important that that I show you how to start and then how to end, because I know a lot of videos don't do that. So, and that can be quite confusing in the beginning when you're not sure how to do it. So that is the single crochet, and the next stitch is going to be the half double. Once again, we're going to do a slip knot. And we're going to chain 10. So there's 10. With the half double, we're going to chain 2 more, and then we're going to yarn over. To yarn over means to wrap the yarn around the hook, and we're going to go into that 10th stitch and pull up a loop. So that's 3 loops on your hook, and you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. That is the half double. So once again, yarn over into the stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And you're going to do that till the end of the row. Okay, here's the last stitch. you completed your first row of half double crochet. So to go on to the next row, you're going to chain 2, and you're going to skip this first stitch right here and go into the second. So yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And you're going to continue this all the way to the end. Okay, now when you get to the end, you want to make sure that you go into this chain 2 space that you created. So yarn over, go through both legs of the stitch, and that is the half double crochet. So once again, I'm going to show you how to fasten off. So you're going to pull the yarn through the loop and then cut it. And then pull that tight. Now for the double crochet. Let's start with your slip knot, chain 10, okay, now for the double crochet, you're going to chain an extra 3 stitches. So we're going to yarn over and go in that 10th stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops, 2 loops still on the hook, yarn over, go through 2 loops. And that is a double crochet. So we're going to yarn over again, pull up a loop, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And you're going to repeat that till the end of the row. Okay, here's the last stitch. Okay, so that is what the double crochet looks like. Now to do our second row, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip this one, this first stitch, and go into the second. This chain 3 will count as our first double crochet. So yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And once again, you're going to do that all the way to the end of the row. Okay, your last stitch will be in this chain 3 right here. So you're going to yarn over and you're going to go into the top of that chain 3. Pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Alright, so that is the double crochet. Once again, I will show you how to fasten off. Pull through, yarn over, and pull through the loop. Cut your yarn and pull the string all the way through. Pull it tight. That is what it looks like. So the next stitch is the treble crochet. Sometimes people call it the triple crochet. It just depends on where you're from. You're going to start with the slip knot again, chain 10. And we're going to do an additional chain 3. Now to do a treble, you're going to yarn over twice. So you're going to wrap the yarn around the hook twice, and you're going to go in your stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Once again, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And that is the treble. Just repeat this until the end of the row. Okay, this is the last stitch. And that is what the treble looks like. It is quite a tall stitch, but it's very useful in certain patterns. Now for the next row, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to turn. We're going to skip this stitch right here, and we're going to treble into the next stitch. And remember, it's wrap twice. So wrap twice, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now, remember our last stitch is in this chain 3 here. Want to make sure that you always get that one, otherwise your project will start getting smaller and smaller because you'll be decreasing. And sometimes it can get hidden in there. So once again, we're going to fasten off. Pull it through. Okay, so that is the treble stitch. So these are pretty much your basic 4 stitches that you'll need to know. And from here, you can pretty much do any project. I thought it was important to show not only how to do this stitch itself, but how to start it and how to finish it. Because I have noticed that a lot of tutorials don't go over that. So I wanted to cover the chain stitch and each one of the single, the half double, the double, and the treble, and then I wanted to cover how to fasten off, because that is the basic steps that you'll need to know in order to do any project. I want to thank everyone for watching. If you have any questions for me, I will gladly answer them. Just leave them in the comment box below. I will have more tutorials coming up soon. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.